Greetings, I am Rob Chapman, currently utterly at the mercy of Sylvia Ville behind the camera. Today we're shooting your assumptions about me. I haven't seen any of these assumptions. I don't know what they are. I am frankly slightly nervous, and hopefully it will be revealing, interesting, in depth. I don't know. It'll be something. What's the first assumption?
I assume you didn't have a 9-to-5 job before internet stardom and musicianship fame came your way.
I absolutely had a 9-to-5 job before I did anything that I do now. So, in fact, I had so many 9-to-5 jobs, I can't even begin to recount them, but I will try. My first job ever was stocking the shelves at Norman's supermarket in Trowbridge in Wiltshire for £1.16 an hour. £1.16 an hour. I used to plank on the floor for as long as I could until a customer would turn up. I used to train martial arts in the background in the little room while I was supposed to be folding up cardboard and putting it in the tip. Loaded trucks at a factory called Peter Black's where they made cosmetics, where they asked me to dump them in the river, and I frankly refused and ended up leaving. This was years ago, by the way. I remember working for the council in education, checking people who applied to be a teacher. I worked in every kind of warehouse. I picked white goods, fridges, freezers, pulled them up on my own, put them on a truck. Loads of picking jobs, and ended up working in a mobile phone store. And then for Virgin Mobile, I was a team leader, managing teams of people answering phones. Good morning, Virgin Mobile, how can I help you? Good morning, Virgin Mobile, how can I help you? Good afternoon, Virgin Mobile, how can I help you? Hello, Virgin Mobile, speaking. That was my life for a long time. Actually, I learned a lot from working at Virgin Mobile. And then I ended up working for a frozen food company called Appetito. I worked out that if I taught guitar, 3 students per day for a week, Monday to Friday, I'd make the same salary as I did at Appetito. And so I started teaching guitar, and when I just had enough students, I quit my job. And it was amazing. It was a great feeling. So yeah, I have worked a lot. And I'm glad I did, because it taught me what it is that I don't ever want to do again. And I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I want to always be in charge and control of my time, which is the most precious thing anyone ever has. I need to be free to express my creativity. Otherwise, I go mad. Next.
I assume you have completely given up on your long hair.
It grows really, really long, but just everywhere apart from the front. I mean, the front grows long, but just only this part here. I will eventually just shave it all off, but my wife likes it the way it is, and I don't really give that much of a hell, so my hair is the way it is now. I'm 44, I had a pretty good innings. I had really, really long hair for ages. It was so long, I could sit on it, which actually was a bit of a pain in the ass. Unless you were falling asleep on a train, then you could sit on it and your head would kind of hang like that, and then you could sleep like this on a train or a bus.
You play guitar every day.
That's a good one. I think I do. Do I play
every
it?
Single day?
If I'm away from home, I can't. So no, not every single day, no. I mean, I certainly play if I'm at home. I mean, I have this or wherever I've been before. I have lots of other places with full of guitars, and my creative world is playing guitar and singing and everything. So, I mean, I love playing guitar. Where I am now, so far, I have played guitar every single day, even if it is just literally... Okay, I'm going to go make a lasagna. There you go. That's about it.
I've never seen you close yourself to a new experience because you know you're going to learn from it. I assume from what we all know and see from you that you are someone most of us aspire to become one day.
Well, that's really, really nice. I mean, this is a person that knows quite a lot about me, and rather than it being just an assumption to react to in a funny video, it's just a really nice thing for him to have said. Thank you very much. Yes, we, as a human being, when you go through 10 years worth of life, lots of people die, lots of challenging things happen, and I bring it on. use it and burn it like fuel, is what I say. That's the way it has to be. This is my favourite new chord, by the way. It's just an A7, but I'm really enjoying it. It's just like an expansive plane of open horizon, nothingness, and yet full of everything else. It's really nice.
Down to earth. Love wearing PJs at home. Checking your mobile phone way too much.
Down to earth, wearing pajamas, checking my phone too much. Pretty much could literally sum me up. I am quite down to earth. I'm just a normal dude, and I'm lucky that I do this for a living. I am on my phone too much. In fact, recently, I was on my phone so much that I just gave it to the person behind this camera and said, please help me and be my PA. And then I went and bought another phone for just personal use. So I saw one episode of Black Mirror too many, and I realised it was true. And my life was consuming me rather than me consuming life. Do you know what I mean? And it was just way too much. I was doing that thing where I'd check an app, check another app, check the last app, and then I would just refresh them all. It's not healthy behaviour, and I wanted to spend more time with my family and more time creating music and just enjoying making videos. And so that's what I've endeavoured to do now. Sylvia's just pointed out that I wasn't checking my phone because I wanted to. I was checking my phone because I had to. I mean, I have still in excess of 10,000 emails to get through. And I basically worked as long as I could with very few staff alongside me. I'm not talking about Chapman guitars, I'm talking about me and what I do. And so there comes a time when you reach a limit and you just can't output any more work. So now I've got some people that help out, and it's really, really good.
Proving that vegans can be tough.
I'm not a vegan. I eat eggs and I eat honey. So technically I'm not a vegan, I'm a vegetarian. I don't have any dairy products and I don't eat any meat. I also don't eat any wheat. I'm not gluten intolerant, but I'm wheat intolerant. But when I'm out and about, it's much easier to say I'm a vegan than it is to say, I can't eat dairy because it makes me collapse and go into anaphylaxia. And actually, I can't eat wheat, but gluten's fine. And I prefer not to eat meat. So I just go, I'm a vegan, gluten-free vegan. And then people go, okay, you're one of those. Yes, I'm one of those. I'm the guy that wants to live as long as possible, be healthy, do little harm to the planet and the trees. I like trees, you know?
My guess is that you don't own a car anymore because your garage is full of Chapman prototypes.
I actually don't own a car. My wife owns a car that I borrow. And yes, my garage was full of Chapman prototypes. I now have a storage facility, and then here I have a lot of the stuff that we use. This is actually a prototype. This is an ML1 Pro Modern, but made in Indonesia, not in Korea, from a different factory that we use. And so from time to time I just get all these beautiful, lovely pieces of art that I get to play and have fun with. But yeah, we have a lot of prototypes hidden away. In fact, some of them we're selling off soon, because I realised we make multiple prototypes for every guitar we have ever made, and we frankly have hundreds of prototypes that we just don't use. So we're going to try and sell a few direct. chapmanguitars.co.uk/store.
I assume that you use a knife to shave.
Why? I don't really shave. I just use a razor like here. Basically, my hair grows up to about here. I don't know what the problem is with my hair growing, but it's up to here. So I shave these bits here, and then I shave here.
With a knife?
Not with a knife, just with a razor. And then I just use what are they called?
Clippers.
Clippers, just to get the side down, and then I just let it grow out. Last time I shaved my beard off, my son cried so badly when he saw me. I felt really harsh.
You have absolutely no clue what a clean tone is, and I love that.
I do know what a clean tone is. I do sometimes play with a clean tone, but I much prefer to play with a slight crunch, like a British crunch tone. Thank you for loving that. It's just, I am what I am. I like a little bit of dirt on my clean end. And I don't like it too gainy. The thing is, a lot of you are used to seeing me in an Andertons video where I was and am hired to be the shred gain guy. So as a result, that's what I'm paid to do. So I'm not there playing clean tones because that's not my job. And also, it's really important to be consistent with what you play if you're demonstrating a product. We've got Pete and Lee to play clean stuff anyway, you don't need me to do that.
Talking about Andertons, assume you can drink the Captain under the table.
There's absolutely no way. I can't drink. If I have a pint, I am merry. If I have 2 or 3, I am drunk. And it is a running joke in my family. And Nat, my wife, makes fun of me all the time. I am hopeless with alcohol. If me, Beer, Pete, Lee went out for a beer, although actually, having said that, the last time I went out for a beer with the 4 of them, Pete ended up completely ruined. We had to feed him full of kebab stuff, and he ended up on the floor. Someone had to guide a blind guy around him because he was lying on the pavement. And it was Taylor. Taylor had to pick him up and carry him and take him home, put him to bed, undress him, put him to bed. And Lee was off his face, and I was completely fine, probably. I mean, I had just about as much as them, but I think I'd eaten a bit more beforehand. So maybe the tables have turned. Judging
by a vlog on Ola's channel, I would not mess with Rob Chapman. The man is intimidating, but in the cool badass way.
Why would I be intimidating? I watch a lot of Ola's videos, although recently I texted Ola and he didn't reply to me, so I'm feeling a little bit upset by that, Ola. If you're watching this video, anybody who knows Ola, please could you say, hey Ola, Rob texted you and you didn't reply. So it may be that I changed my mobile number and he didn't recognise the number. That's probably definitely what it is, because Ola would always reply to me. I don't know what I did in the video. I'm not an intimidating guy. I'm just a guy. I'm really nice, I think.
You look very Canadian.
Is that I'm just going to say that probably is because I have a beard. Is that what it is? Is it because I have a beard? I am not Canadian, although Canadians come from where I originate, genetically, if you think about it. I did live in Canada. I lived in Toronto for just over a year. Went Young and Blur, Much Music, hung out down there, had the street meet, chilled out with the Canucks, and enjoyed a pint of Sleeman. Yes, it's called Sleeman. And I worked delivering party rentals all over the place, even at the CN Tower. I love Canada, although my only experience of it is Toronto. I'm not Canadian. I would like to be Canadian. I think Canada's cool.
I assume you're a pretty busy guy. I saw Chapman Guitars at NAMM a year back and the crowd of people surrounding you. Talking to you about your gear was absolutely gigantic. Is he the most looked at booth that year?
Yes. I am a very busy person, and yeah, the NAMM booth was insane. In fact, we almost got shut down twice just by the sheer volumes of people, which was a real problem because you spend, and I'm not kidding, £35,000 to £40,000 on a stand at the NAMM show, and then they come around and they say, we're going to have to shut you down because there are too many people at your stand. It's a fire hazard. And you're like, are you kidding me? It frustrated me beyond belief, and it actually made me consider whether or not we would ever do NAMM again, because we are really busy when we go there. Everybody wants to come and see Beer, Dave, Lee if he's there, me, and the guitars. And as a result, it's rammed. I am really busy, but I'm really lucky because I have an amazing support network, really good friends. I have an amazing team with all sorts of cool people that help me out, so that when I literally cannot manage, there's always somebody there to help me out.
You cry at Adam Sandler movies.
I cry all the time. It doesn't need to be an Adam Sandler movie. It's healthy. You should always be aware of your emotions. Real men cry. I like Adam Sandler, but then I was born in 75. So when I grew up, Adam Sandler was one of the cool, funny guys. He still is really cool and funny.
I assumed you were actually being played by the guitar.
Played by the guitar?
Yeah.
As in the guitar plays me?
Yeah.
I wonder how that would look. It would kind of look like...
Oh my gosh, please Photoshop your versions and leave them Send them to this email below.
I feel like I looked a bit like Mrs. Smith for about 3 seconds then.
Amazing.
Almost as cool as Mrs. Smith, but not quite.
I assume you prefer crunchy peanut butter over smooth.
Smooth peanut butter is a giant lie. I don't care who you are. If you buy smooth peanut butter, I will find you and I will end you. Crunchy peanut butter is the truth. And if you really want to experience crunchy peanut butter, you can do 2 things with it. The first thing is you can take a teaspoon of it and put it in your ground coffee before you make a French press cafetiere and make that Snickers coffee bro. The other thing is you can take that peanut butter, put it on some toast and add a little bit of Marmite and make it even more dirty. You're welcome.
You secretly love country.
I do. That's not a secret. Alison Krauss, Dan Tyminski, Ron Block. I'm just naming members of Union Station. I like old school mountain music. I love the sound of harmony vocals. I mean, its origins coming from, Celtic music and Irish music are pretty close to me, and I've really like Union Station. Man of Constant Sorrow, that kind of vibe. There's a really great documentary called Down from the Mountain, which is about all the music from the film Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I picked up people like Emmylou Harris, just some incredible artists. Country guitarists also, you've got to know some of the best technical guitar players, country guitar players. Go check out Johnny Highland.
I assume that you don't call Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is intimidated by a shred and calls you.
So I've got a story about Chuck Norris. I wanted to have a stand at the NAMM show that had a banner with Chapman guitars and a little tiny stage, and I wanted to pay Chuck Norris to stand on the stage with a Chapman Guitars t-shirt holding 2 Chapman guitars, but just staring. And just nothing, but just Chuck Norris staring. And I was going to pay him to do that for like a couple of hours on the Saturday, a couple of hours on the Friday, and then that would be it. Like an art installment. We wouldn't mention it, talk about it. That would be what happened. But we couldn't get hold of him. I tried. I found his manager. We emailed. They never responded. Chuck, if you're out there, if you ever want to do an art installation for Chapman Guitars, I'm your man, bro. I've got some lunch money for you.
I assume you're completely addicted to making music and playing guitar and you can't wait for Brexit.
Brexit is the most embarrassing thing my country has done, in my opinion. I'm sorry if you feel otherwise. But from the point of view of being a guy that works all over Europe and goes to Germany, and why wouldn't you want to have lots of access to continental Europe and be able to work? And loads of my friends and my wife and we're all from Europe. So it's caused me nothing but giant ball ache, to be really honest with you. My wife literally had to become British, and it took months and cost thousands of pounds. So it's been a pain in my ass. There you go. And the other assumptions, maybe they're true.
You drink more than 5 cups of coffee a day.
So I used to drink inaccessible amounts of coffee, vast oceans of the dark mother. But I have to admit to you that more than recently, I've had to stop. I got to the point where I was doing so much work, I was so up against it that I literally found that the coffee pushed me over the edge into what I would describe as hollow man, where you kind of go, and there's like nothing inside you at all, just like an empty sugar running husk. So everyone has been there at some point. So now I've stopped. I get Sylvia to make me a half coffee just for the taste, and then I drink mint tea because when I'm singing, it's really important to keep the vocals hydrated.
You're obviously a goth.
I am so goth. It is painful. One of the first bands I was ever into was Paradise Lost. A true belief. I was a big fan of Paradise Lost, and the first gig I ever played at John of Gaunt's school in Trowbridge in Wiltshire, I played True Belief, and I wished I had corpse paint and that kind of thing. I'm not really goth.
Having met you, I assume that you want to swear more than you can in your videos.
Yeah, it's not easy. If you swear a lot, sometimes you get demonetized. I mean, Peter Honore, every other word is a word that you can't talk about. Beer is not that way inclined, really. I swear a bit because I spent years and years and years working in warehouses and factories in Wiltshire. and Lee is kind of in the middle. But it's Pete that drives it all. But you know what? I swear, and then I just bleep it out, basically. But I think a good swear used at the right time is a good thing. It's part of the British language. God damn it.
What watch are you wearing?
My wife bought me an absolutely stunning Breitling, and it's really expensive. And as a result, I wore it once, I think, on an Andertons video, and then loads of people going, oh my God, what watch is that? And how much does it cost? And so I don't wear it. And I also get nervous to wear it out in case I get spotted by somebody and then they see the watch and then they think, I don't know, I have a hang up about wearing expensive things. I have a watch, it's really expensive. As a result, I tend not to wear it out or on videos because I feel like people will make an assumption about me like you have. I wear a Breitling. Hey Breitling, if you're out there, I'm your boy. I could play guitar with a Breitling.
Show those wrists.
It is on the very final dot, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I have really thick wrists.
You're working very hard on the next Doja album, and it's going to be one of my favorite things to listen to as I cry from each song and feel my heart burn as I connect with each word.
Well, that's really nice. I would like to be working really hard on the Doja album, but at the moment, having just moved house and just settled into the studio with another baby on the way, the focus is primarily on preparing the house for baby number 2. Although yesterday I wrote verse number 2 to a song called Crooked, which is one of my favourite new tracks to go on the album. And I've got another one called Widdershins, which is sick. One called Detritus, which is probably the heaviest track we've ever written. We have some great tracks and I am really excited for it to come out. It's just going to take some time.
Your wife thinks that you have way too many guitars.
No, Nat doesn't. I just said no and then I heard myself and I thought, I don't know. I don't think she thinks I've got too many guitars. I mean, she's a musician. She totally understands what she married. Although I had a lot less when we got married. I think she totally understands it. I mean, put it this way, she never gives me any shit unless I bought like a £4,000 vintage Gibson. Then maybe I got a little bit. But it was kind of understandable. We need to buy a car. She was like, can you drive our kid to school in it? And I'm like, I could try.
You know what she said when I asked her about this?
Yeah.
She said, quality over quantity.
Right, yeah, it's true.
I assume you have multiple dinosaur pajamas, possibly a onesie. Your favorite one is a blue one with the yellow T-Rex and green
Triceratops.
Yep.
I don't have any dinosaur pajamas. I think this is a crime against humanity and it really needs to be resolved. I did have a dragon onesie about 5 years ago. I remember wearing it and walking around Asda buying some groceries, probably with you, Sylv. I love wearing pajamas. I like to not give a about how I look because I don't. And so put on pajamas, sit down, do what you got to do, work. I work in my pajamas a lot. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like chilling out, wearing slippers, pajamas, chill, barefoot, whatever. I don't have any dinosaur pajamas. I need some dinosaur pajamas. If anyone knows where I can get some great dinosaur pajamas, please let me know in the comment section below.
You secretly always wanted to be a bassist.
No, I don't. I have a great respect for bassists, but I have never wanted to be a bassist. I don't have a good enough sense of rhythm. I can play with good rhythm, but I never think about rhythm. For example, I'll write a riff and it might be in 6/7 and I won't even consider that it is, and then I've got to sing over it and it's a pain in the ass. I just write what feels melodically sensible or sounds right to me. I think to be a really good bassist, you need to be always aware of the rhythm you're playing, and I'm not. I'm just away with the fairies a lot of the time, just generally in life.
I assume that you're actually not very good at playing the guitar. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I actually can't play guitar at all. Every single note is digitally added.
Just try now without any digital effects.
Okay.
For audience.
Without any effects at all.
Yeah.
First thing I learned was D chord, and then I learned to play Desire by U2. Lover, I'm on the streets. I'm gonna go in the bright lights, big city meets. With a red guitar, on fire, desire. Rather Than Hum, man. Great album.
I assume you live in constant fear that your child will grow up and become a bassist.
Become a bassist. No, I have no fear of what Theodore will become. He can be a cake maker or a potter or a carpet manufacturer or an accountant. I don't care as long as he's happy.
Too busy to reply to everyone.
Absolutely, yeah, unfortunately. I remember when I used to reply to every single YouTube comment. For about the first 4 years, I had managed to convince myself it was what you had to do. If I didn't do it, it was rude. It was like somebody writing to you. And I replied to everyone. If they emailed me through YouTube and there was a mail service, I would reply to everything. And then at one point, it was like I was trying to message back and it was like an onslaught avalanche of comments. And I was like, and then I just couldn't do it and I stopped. So now I just reply to the first sort of 4 or 5. I'm there, when a video goes live, I'm there watching comments, reading them and replying sometimes. I'm always around, but I can't reply to everything now. It's just impossible.
You can gent, but you don't want to.
I don't think I can really gent. I am your mainstay band guitarist. So put me in a band, I'll play great rock blues, kind of 80s, bit of hard rock, bit of metal, but I'm not a gent guy. Gent came after my time of acquiring sounds. I very much respect it, especially in Meshuggah. I like listening to a bit of it, but it's like Frosties. When you've had half a bowl, you got to force yourself to finish a bowl. And I need sometimes to not listen to really heavy music. Dorje doesn't gent. We do the Soundgarden thing, but heavier and more percussive, and with elements of other influences.
I assume you're a glass half full kind of guy.
I am definitely a glass half full kind of guy, yeah. I've always just kind of been really positive about anything. I think life is like a computer game and your interface is what you see, and you can kind of choose to see it negatively or you can choose to see it positively. It's like an option in the file menu option, positive view, negative view. And I try as much as possible to be positive about things because it makes me feel better, and it's in some instances it is a choice, not always. I've trained myself to try and be positive as much as possible.
I assume you love a grim and dark jokes. Don't we all? The darker, the better.
Yeah, the jokes that I normally get come in a text thread from Peter Honore, Lee Anderton and Rabia that we've had for about 4 years. I have to delete this text thread about 3 times a year because it gets so obscene that it is something that should not exist on my phone. And it is always Pete's fault. So yeah, we like to share stupid jokes. I have to say, when we asked for assumptions about me, I was overwhelmed with really nice comments and assumptions. And I just want to say thank you, because I think we thought some of the assumptions would be, oh, I assume you got divorced because of this, or I assume you're really rich, or you're actually really poor, or I don't know why I say I'm really positive, but I just assumed your assumptions would be quite negative. And actually they were overwhelmingly positive, and that was really nice. So I just want to say thank you for assuming nice things about me. Thank you for enduring this long, arduous process of me dealing with your assumptions. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd recommend that you do, because there might be something better than this video. And if you want to press my bell, then you'll know when that turns up. You guys take it easy. Chappers considerably out.